Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Stephen.
And this is Indy Fanatics, your home for IndyCar content with weekly podcasts and feature videos. Silly season is in full swing and seats are up for grabs in the NTT IndyCar series. But it's not just American talent and drivers from the Road to Indy program fighting for those seats. Roman Grosjean's success has seen a flurry of European talent linked with the series for the 2022 season. That came after he himself was part of the 2021 silly season that saw Sergio Perez and Kevin Magnussen linked with the series, before Grosjean was the one who took the lunge into IndyCar. But the question is, why are so many drivers now interested in IndyCar?
One of the easier answers to that is there are just more seats available in IndyCar for someone to be a professional driver. The Indy 500 with its prestige is the most entered event on the IndyCar calendar, with 35 drivers competing for the 33 race day slots available this year. But what has also been a change, in particular this season, is events outside of the 500 have also started to have higher number of entries. Nashville had 27 entries, and this weekend in Portland, we also see a grid of 27 drivers. In a time where F1 struggles to field 20 competitive entrants, and with a high entry fee mooted at $200 million for a new team, the likelihood of F1 grid expanding anytime soon is slim. So with IndyCar not only having its current teams look to expand their entries per team, with Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan Racing expanding to 3 cars in 2022, and Darren McLaren SP looking to move to 3 by 2023, it also has new teams like Top Gun Racing looking to enter the series, as well as returning teams restarting their IndyCar program like Juncos Racing. So if you're a driver, you look at IndyCar, and just by the numbers game, there is a high chance you'll be able to secure a seat.
Not only are any prospective drivers more likely to secure a seat, they are more likely to secure a competitive one. If we just look at recent converts from F1, Alexander Rossi switched from reserve driver to Indy 500 winner, Max Chilton traded Mauritia for Chip Ganassi. Ericsson also worked his way into Chip Ganassi via Arrowsmith Peterson and is now a 2-time race winner in IndyCar. And of course, this year, Roman Grosjean, who traded running around the back of an F1 pack in an uncompetitive Haas for Dale Coyne, a small but experienced team that has helped him secure 1 pole and 2 podiums. But this isn't a new thing. Plenty have moved on from F1 to find more to their career. Takuma Sato is now a 2-time Indy 500 winner, Alex Zanardi won back-to-back titles, and Emerson Fittipaldi and Nigel Mansell finding life after retirement from F1 in the series, with Emerson securing 2 Indy 500s and a championship, and Nigel famously winning the series in his rookie year. Racing drivers are competitive people. They want to race to win. IndyCar allows them to do that. No matter what team you're in, you have a chance to win if the ability is there. Your chances are obviously higher in the big 3 of Andretti Autosport, Chip Ganassi Racing and Team Penske, but it is not exclusive to those teams or the same drivers, as we have had 9 different winners in 13 races this season, and Pato O'Ward mounting a serious title challenge with Arrow McLaren SP, proving just how competitive the grid is.
So that rounds up the opportunities to drive, but coupled in with Mike's last point, the growth of the series as well is playing a huge part. A lot of fans now are of the opinion that IndyCar as a series is as strong as it has been in years, and even getting to the levels of the late 80s and early 90s car. Now, it would be naive to say that the overall popularity has reached those levels. It certainly is a series that is on the rise, with viewing figures increasing this year at almost every event, and a new deal with NBC was secured off the back of that. And although not solely down to the figures, they certainly wouldn't have weakened Roger Penske's negotiation position. But it is with that exposure that is helping IndyCar, from both within the United States and outside of it, with drivers like Roman Grosjean helping to bring more eyes from a European scene, and people are liking what they are seeing. Because since the reunification, IndyCar have worked on creating one of the best racing products in world motorsport, and now people are seeing that. They are keen to tune in. Fernando Alonso has also played a huge part in this area, with his Indy 500 entries since 2017. One of the biggest drivers from the world of F1 not only brought fans across like us to the series, it also has made a lot of drivers consider IndyCar as a viable option for the future. IndyCar is becoming a less a them or us series for drivers outside the US. It is just becoming an established, integrated part of the single-seater motorsport world like it had been before in the past.
Now finally we look at the paddock. It is well documented that the world of F1 is ruthless and the path to the top is fierce and is not solely based on talent. Money and politics play a huge part in securing one of the highly coveted 20 seats in F1, and for a lot of drivers that can be too much, especially when you are talking about teenage kids and young adults having every move on and off the track scrutinised. Now IndyCar isn't perfect and has had its fair share of ruthless actions. If you ask Oliver Askew or James Hinchcliffe, I'm sure they would definitely feel at least a little hard done by with how they parted ways with Aaron McLaren SP. But that is racing. There is always a ruthless streak, but certainly not to the extreme of F1 and the road to F1 in the junior formula. The IndyCar paddock feels a lot more welcoming and has a massive family feel to it. The drivers clash. They are highly competitive individuals competing for top honours every weekend, but there never seems to be a long-standing animosity between the drivers. Or at least not publicly. As long-time F1 fans, having watched Roman Grosjean's entire F1 career, we don't think we have seen him smile more and look like he enjoy his racing as much as he has done this year, and that speaks volumes.
But as great as having this talent linked to the series with Callum Ilott racing this weekend for Juncos, Christian Lundgaard with his race at IMS, and Dan Ticktum, the latest F2 driver to be rumoured to be racing in the series before the end of the year, coupled with more experienced names like Nico Hülkenberg, Kevin Magnussen and Antonio Felix da Costa expressing an interest in the series, it is important to note that this should not come at the expense of the Road to Indy program. The Road to Indy ladder has seen names like Joseph Newgarden, Colton Herta, Pato Award, Rinus VeeKay, Jack Harvey and Connor Daly progress through it and be competitive within the NTT IndyCar series. And it is a ladder system that promotes talent and makes sure that financially, if you have success within the ladder system, you can progress. Oliver Askew and current second place Indy Lights driver Kyle Kirkwood are good examples of this, as they were not well backed in motorsport terms, but were able to work their way through the ladder and progress to IndyCar in the case of Oliver Askew, and Kyle is heavily linked with a promotion to the series, especially if he is able to retake the lead in the Indy Lights Championship with just 4 races to go, including Portland this weekend. But the Road to Indy ladder system should be cherished as a route to IndyCar and not be overlooked ahead of the more globally renowned F1 ladder system.
So rounding up this video, it is incredibly exciting and understandable why IndyCar is being linked with all these names from other series. It is getting the respect as a racing category it has not seen since the days of kart, and as a series we think it will only thrive with its increasing popularity. We wish Callum Ilott all the best for this weekend, a driver blessed with natural pace. If all goes well, he may yet find his home here in IndyCar, but it is established talent that all eyes will be focused on as the series championship looks set to go down to the wire, and this weekend's Portland GP looks set to be a key stage in the outcome.
So thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget you can like, subscribe and ding that bell.
Ding it to keep up to date with all our latest IndyCar content, including our first race watch along this weekend. But for now, you Indy fans, keep racing.